expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been
That's the reality. At it, and sometimes these guys aren't going to be able to be at the game. They have other commitments. They're playing on other travel teams, whatever it may be. There are some times, especially in the 18 and 16 U's, where you're just not going to see those players show up on the roster.
Yeah, and that's just the case too. You'll go week to week where the rosters look different. That's why the rosters they carry such big rosters too in these Class B leagues because you never know when kids are going on vacation for a week.
Mhm.
It is not as strict of you need to be there for every game as like a high school team is,
Right.
right? Because it's you're representing obviously a team for Class B, and that's a big thing. But that's what coaches are aware of, and they are more understanding that these kids have some family commitments too during the summer, so that's why they carry a lot of extra guys on the roster.
I am a firm believer, especially in the summer. I coach travel. We were talking Class B baseball. Firm believer is as seriously as you take it, and as much as you want to get these kids better, there comes a point when you got to let the kids be kids, right? You got to let them kind of enjoy the summer. You got to let them have their summer vacation because they go through a lot of stress. I know we don't think so. Sometimes as adults, when we get to the adult problems in life, we forget about the stress that high school brought. But that's 9 months of stress, right? You're dealing with finals, you're dealing with tests, you're dealing with social life, you're dealing with high school athletics. Sometimes you gotta let kids be kids in the summer, right? And there's also the reality that if I'm a kid playing baseball and I'm on two travel teams, one's going down to a big maybe a premier event or a big showcase where a lot of coaches are going to be there. I might miss a Class B game to go follow my team to be on that showcase.
And that's the biggest thing in the summer. You're loyal to teams, obviously, and you want to help every team that you're on win. But you're on multiple teams in some cases for baseball and softball. And really, the summer where the high school season's about winning. It's about playing the team sport. It's about getting the most out of the team and learning how to adapt, find your role within a team. Where Class B, you do that, but you're trying to raise your stock as well as
You
a
said it.
player.
Like it or not, summer in baseball and softball is about promoting yourself. Like that's where it comes first. You can like it, you can hate it, but that's where the reality that we live in right now. Summer baseball and softball. The main goal is always to get yourself on a coach's radar. That's why you go to all these showcases. You'll play on these travel teams. You look at Sydney Watts, her main travel team is off this week. She's going to play for another one. So she says, "Hey, I'm going to fill in this week for this team so I can get more exposure and get myself out there even more and not take the off week." So you got to do everything you can to get yourself exposed to college coaches and get yourself showcased.
No,
And
no doubt, no doubt, and that's exactly what we're seeing a lot of these kids do. And I mean, the ones we've had to, a majority of them, especially from like your 16U divisions, even your 18Us, because a lot of them are juniors going into like their senior years this fall. You talk to these kids, and a lot of them have aspirations of playing college ball and playing at the next level. So this is a key time for them to raise their stock. So that's why when they have these kind of big starts of the season, batting 400, it's huge for them. 400, 500 seasons in Class B in travel ball. It's big in just putting up those kind of numbers to just raise some eyebrows, I guess, in the coaches' corners.
let's go over some more scores that came in last night through Class B baseball. It was 16U night, of course, as all Tuesdays are. Ballistic baseball offense went ballistic to no pun intended, actually, pun very much intended. They won 10-0 over Eagleware, and we said Ballistic was in that little cluster of teams that were in fourth through sixth place, all tied at I believe 9-9. So they get the big win when against a team that's below them in the standings. They needed that win.
And I mean, they removed a lot of doubt early on, a sixth spot in the bottom of the second. Really kind of just that's one of those crooked numbers that'll really deflate some teams too. And adding on runs, two in the fourth, two in the fifth, that's really all Ballistic needed to do in this case. 11 hits put up by Ballistic's offense, and they had 10 RBIs too. All of them batted in as a team. That's what's telling you offense is clicking as well. Two errors by Ballistics defense, only one by Eagleware. But looking at the walks as well, 6 walks drawn by the offense. So that's getting guys on base. That's getting them around and getting them in too, because all 10 of the runs scored were by RBI.
We talked about Whiting getting the win 6-2. I mean, getting the loss 6-2 to Avalanche. Nightline also got the win 6-5. So they back up their 18U squad who did it on Monday night, and their 16U squad comes in, gets the win last night. So now Nightline 2-0 in the last two nights. Big for their division.
Yeah, Nightline getting a big win. You talk about that one, and I'm feeling some kind of momentum because really, you talk about punch counter punch in this sport. Top of the third inning, Creekside takes that 3-0 lead. Nightline comes right back, 4 runs in the bottom of the third. They take a 4-3 lead. And never look back. Creekside tied it, top of the fourth, 4-4, and then Nightline took 2 back in the bottom of the fourth, made it 6-4. Creekside obviously added another run that happened in the top of the sixth, but it wasn't enough to stop Nightline on this night. They got the big victory and big nights too. All around, you just saw a lot of hits throughout the order too. Dominic Ryan, Freddie Balchuk getting hits. We know Freddie Balchuk obviously wore in JFK, but those two guys top of the order. Then you had your 5, 6, 7 hole hitters getting hits, and then your 8-hole hitter too in a 10-man lineup getting hits. So there's just balance hitting around the order, and they were able to get the key timely hits that brought home enough runs.
Yeah, and we talked about how important that game was going to be. Nightline was one of those teams on the run a little bit, trying to make some waves and get into that second tier of teams in the standings. That win will go a long way. After these scores get reported, we will go into the 16U standings and see where we stand after Tuesday. But we'll get into some more final scores first. Astro Falcons versus Dura Edge. We thought this was going to be a competitive game. It was a big one in the standings, but Astro Falcons left absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind who the better team was that night. 15-0, they get the win over Dura Edge.
Yeah, you think that they're upset about where their division was too and how close it was just a couple of days ago. They're starting to remove all doubt, and you talk about the team that was right there, that challenging for them. They're starting to make and separate themselves and starting to put a lot of ground between themselves and all these other teams. And just out of the gate, 4 runs top of the first, and they just kept on putting on, scored in 3 straight innings. But how about this? A 7 spot in the top of the fifth, too. That flips a game right on its head. And already at the time, they had 8 runs going into that. So that one made it 15-0. And that kind of removes all doubt from games right there when you could put up those kind of crooked numbers.
We don't see 15 too often in Class B. We see some 10-0 run rules. 15, yeah, that's something you don't see too often in this realm of baseball with the caliber pitching we have in this league.
Talk about Sean Christoffel, too. 4 innings pitched for Astro, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts on 53 pitches in 4 innings, 2 striking out 8. And that 8 strikeouts you're ringing up, you're averaging 2 strikeouts an inning in 53 pitches. So you're striking them out and you're doing it efficiently. That's dominance on the mound.
I would wager a handful of those strikeouts were in 3 pitches.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be, right? 3 to 4 pitch strikeouts is what you're talking about. When you're keeping a pitch count at 53, that means you're only averaging, what's that, right under 13, 12 and some change pitches per inning, too, if you go 4. Phenomenal day, no doubt, for Christoffel.
The last score that we have to report, I think I hit all of them. The Athletics, which is another team right in that cluster in the middle that was tied at 9-9. They got the win over the Prospects 8-3. So a big step forward. We talked about all 3 of those teams that were playing that needed the wins to get some separation, and Athletics took care of business 8-3 over Prospects.
Yeah, and guys like Gabe Saunders go 2 for 3 with hits, go 2 walks, gets on base 4 times, has an RBI. But how about this 9-hole hitter for them too? Or excuse me, I believe it's actually the 10-hole hitter. It is 10-hole hitter. Dominic Phillips goes 2 for 4. 4 RBIs at the bottom of the order too, and that's just coming up big too. And when your bottom of the order is able to be productive like that, bring in runs and then the top of the order is right there, it's demoralizing for teams.
Yeah, I mean, momentum's so important in every sport, but baseball feels like it carries some weight. We talked about how hitting is contagious, and sometimes when you don't have momentum, it can't be contagious. That viral hitting can't get a team right. So we've gone over all the scores, Ty. Let's look at the standings and where these teams stand after Tuesday.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at these standings and just how they split up the Hernandez division, we talked about what Astro did. They've separated themselves 10-4. They lead the Hernandez division with second place being Dura Edge at 7-7, and then a couple 5-9 teams in Athletics and Nightline. Prospects round things out at 4-10. But right now, Astros commanding lead in that Hernandez division, and they really just kind of put their foot down to any other teams that want to make a challenge, because Dura Edge was that team that had a chance to challenge them. Now 3 games back in the loss column. You're going to have to do some work if you have any hopes of getting this division.
Yeah, 16U, we've talked about it at length. breaking down two divisions. Whiting's still leading, but I think this kind of puts some doubt in the back of their mind.
No doubt. And Whiting right now.
Yes, doubt. Yes, doubt.
Whiting is the case where they're only one loss ahead in the loss column, I guess you would say. 12-2, followed by Avalanche at 11-3. Creekside had a chance to be making this really interesting. They still have done that, 9-4 to follow behind, but that shows how big of a win that was from Nightline in 16U and just kind of keeping Creekside off of Whiting's tail. But they're still right there in the mix of things. If some things go right, Creekside can find themselves at the top. But Avalanche with one more game, I must say, too, against Whiting. It's 1-1 in the season series, but they certainly made things a lot more interesting.
I'll tell you one thing. We look at Thursday's schedule, and this is a busy week for 16U. They got games on Thursday, and then they'll have games on Saturday and Sunday as well. So a lot of these teams will be playing 4 games in 6 days. So we look at Thursday's schedule real quick. You look at it, and Whiting has a chance to bounce back. They'll play the Prospects on Thursday. Creekside has Dura Edge. Ballistic has the Athletics. Creekside will be playing a doubleheader because they're going to be playing Ballistic as well. So Ballistic and Creekside both playing 2. And then you'll have Eagleware taking on the Astro Falcons, and then Nightline will take on the Avalanche. So it should be an interesting Thursday as we look ahead in the 16U schedule.
Yeah, and that's obviously for this upcoming Thursday on June 23rd. So we look forward to those games. And I mean, there's still some big games that are going to be left on this schedule, no doubt. And looking ahead even further too, a little bit to the 25th, I wanted to see, because I thought there was one game that I had circled on here for the 25th that I wanted to bring up. Looking at yeah, this is the one I wanted to look at too. Avalanche going up against Dura Edge coming up on this Saturday, and this is another case where it's kind of a must win for both teams. Like if Dura Edge drops this one, hopes for the division kind of get stomped on, but Avalanche can't afford to drop this one now that they're one game back.
The win last night put Avalanche in the position where now all they have to do, we talked about this yesterday, all they have to do is keep pace, and they have one more matchup with Whiting later on in the season. So I think it's actually the last game, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right too. And there's some big matchups that both these teams have to get through still. And there's good teams all throughout Bob's scene. And we've already showcased too. Nightline's been one of those teams as well. They're going to be playing Whiting on Saturday. So Nightline's that team that's been throwing a wrench in a lot of team seasons right now.
We knew it was going to be tough to get back in the standings for the Avalanche. Step 1 is complete. They got that win over Whiting. Step 1 is complete. Step 2 is, of course, to keep pace and try to make that last game of the season for the championship.
No doubt. And you gotta, in this case too, you have to make sure that when you match losses and you match wins to the best of your ability, because Whiting hasn't slipped up other than the first game of the season. They've sandwiched a bunch of wins in between these two losses. And if anything, Whiting's going to look to bounce back right now. So you don't know how many more slip ups they're going to have this season. So in that case, you got to you don't want to pay attention. You got to obviously focus on yourself. You focus on what you're doing this season, but you're kind of side eyeing what Whiting's doing right now, knowing that pretty much you have to be on beat with them, and if not one beat better, if you want to catch them in these standings.
Yeah, we're going to take our first break of the day as we kind of wrap up our talk about 16U last night. Still in the show, we have Anthony Miller coming on at 1:15. Brian Tolnar will be stopping by at some point. He's very busy. Whenever he comes on, we're going to put him on. We have all-star rosters that look a lot more clear. We have a lot more confirmations. We announced everyone that we have on the softball team last night. Baseball is still getting confirmed every now and then, but most of the baseball roster is complete as well. The coaches drafted tonight, so we're going to talk about these rosters, see who we have on, and kind of maybe pick our own teams a little bit. If we were the coaches and it was that kind of draft, what kind of teams would we want to build with this roster? Maybe have some fun with that, and much more on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa.
And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing.
Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships.
We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team.
Your goals, our game plan.
Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring PGA professionals, golf instruction, a players rewards club, kids programs, and a pro shop and grill room for a memorable golf experience. Call or click to schedule your tee time at Mill Creek Golf Course.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers. From sales to financing and even service, we'll help build your perfect vehicle
and lock in your trade value
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries.
We guarantee financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Now is the time to think about your future, where you want to go, what you want to be. Your future can start now at Kent State Salem or Kent State East Liverpool. We have programs that will open doors and provide opportunities for you to pursue your passion. We are affordable, we are close. You call it hometown, we call it Kent State University. Learn more at www.kent.edu/Columbiana. You belong here.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. I'm Anthony Hartwig, alongside Ty Bartell. As if you're just now tuning in, and you can tell that we are not in the studio and we are not in the friendly confines of Ty's prison either. We are at Mill Creek Golf Course, and we are on the 18th green of the south course here at Mill Creek Metro Golf Course, and it's a beautiful day. We have a busy day of golf, Ty. We talked about it earlier. The Mercy Health AJGA All-Star Tournament right now, and then later on this afternoon, the Mercy Health AJGA preview tournament also going to be kicking off as well.
Yeah, and we're definitely excited to be a part of this too, and just to be here on a beautiful, bright, sunny, shiny, and hot day, I must say
I'll tell
today.
you, Ty, every time we come here, we're blessed with great weather. Like even back when we did it in October with you and me, we had really good October weather. So I think we should just start coming down here more often.
Yeah, I don't know. It must be something about us just being here in Mill Creek. Of course, that's what we're gonna say at least.
It's us.
But yeah, October it was great weather, and of course, right here in the dead heat of June, it's great weather as well. As couldn't ask for a better day for golf out here at the course.
Ty, you want to give us an update on the leaderboard? I know we gave an update at the top of the show, but some time has passed, and let's see where these players stand now.
Yeah, let me just get this loaded up here as trying to get the updated one. I'm still getting the old ones as just refresh this page. Taking a second out here in the nature.
A Subway sponsor. Keep refreshing and refreshing and refreshing.
Alexa Owlette now in first as she is -1 through 7. In second, who was previously leading, and Sophie Borgalt is even through 5, and Shauna Liu is +4 through 5 as she's coming in third right now. But a two horse race right now as Alexa Owlette only up by 1 stroke against Anne Sophie Borgalt.
That means between the last time we talked and now, all that with a big birdie to take that lead. And this course, not easy to put birdies on.
Not at all either. And we look at the other side too for the boys. Braden Miller now is -4 through 5, so just having a heck of a day on this course today. Peyton Blackard is coming in at second as he is even through 6. And then Shiv Parmar is +1 through 7 as he's tied for third with Arjun Caprion, who is also +1, but he's through 6 right now. So
you know how many adults would kill to go 4 under? On
especially through the first 7 on this. I mean, through 7 at least. I mean, I don't know where he started. I don't know if they do starting. Are they starting at the top or did they do shotgun start? I don't know the exact details on it.
That's a question for Brian.
Yeah, I gotta ask Brian that when he comes around. But through 7, either way, we're gonna have to ask Brian on just how impressive that is and just what 7 holes he has played. If they're the first 7, if they're the back 7, where if it's shotgun start, where they did start. But just looking at this course too, there's a lot of difficult holes on this one, and for you to be 4 under, you're having quite the day.
The casual golfers watching these kids golf and just like, oh, it's time to hang up the clubs. You know, if a 13-year-old can shoot 4 under and I'm still struggling to get 4 over, it's time.
It's time. It's time. It's over, he says. No doubt, though. Great day of golf here, and we're going to keep you guys updated throughout the show, and we'll see if we can get any winners announced, or we can get at least scores of winners that are going to be close to winning it.
One time, me and my dad were watching the LGPGA. LPGA. Sorry, reset all that. The LPGA. And my dad's a bigger dude. You know, he's probably like 5'10", in the 200 pounds. In that range. So he's strong. He drives the ball really well. And this girl that was maybe like 5'6", like petite, comes up and just drills the ball. Right. My dad goes, that girl that's 5'6", 120, this outdrove me by 50 yards or whatever. I'm quitting. It's retiring time.
It's a beautiful thing about this sport. I mean, it's not always the biggest and the strongest that succeed. It's a lot of technique, and
it's all about swing mechanics.
Exactly. And I mean, you could add power from a lot of sources on your body too to generate that ball to just drive further.
It's counterintuitive, but sometimes the really fit people struggle because you're not as flexible if you have the big muscles.
Yeah, and I mean sometimes that's the case too. You got to have kind of quick coordination, especially through that shoulders and especially through your back as well. I mean, both of those huge. We've talked about it, but I mean we've also heard Brian comment on it, from your hips to your back to your shoulders. Those are 3 huge key points for not only alignment, for the swing in general too, and just making sure you get a good swing off as well.
Golfers have to take notes from Shakira because your hips don't lie in your golf swing.
No doubt.
But that was my joke of the day, brought to you by Mill Creek Golf Course.
Beautiful day too, no doubt. Like we've kept saying. I mean, what are we registering at? I think over 90 degrees again for the second day in a row. Mother Nature, we thank you for finally taking a break on us.
Well, let's get the official temperature from this 21 Storm Tracker app, and they have it at 90 degrees right now. which is right on that 90. It's a beautiful day. And I lost Youngstown. Hold on.
You can't lose Youngstown, Anthony. What are you talking about?
There it is. 90 right now. The high today is 93, and it'll reach that at 4 p.m. So 93 at 4, and then it'll dip a little bit that back down in the 90s and the high 70s. It'll cool off.
Yeah, cool off. As Anthony said, get your coats and blankets ready.
You said that. I never said that. Never
I said that
at
as
all.
a response to you because I thought it was
All
funny that you were saying.
All I said was the temperature's going to cool down a bit.
You were
at night.
making it a pretty dramatic point to say that it's going to cool down 7 degrees.
I feel attacked.
So I just had to comment. You got to get your coats and blankets, Anthony, and it's going to drop 7
There are
degrees.
some people that get cold when it's in the 70s. Okay.
But it was 84 last night, is what you were talking about. So it's not even.
Hey, cold is relative.
Oh man, but I'm loving the weather that we're getting here. Summer in Ohio, it seems like it's officially here full force, and perfect day for like we've been saying, perfect day for golf. And we've been seeing a lot of people coming through here. We're right here at the green of the 18 hole.
You'll always see me doing this, like I gotta keep an eye on these people. I know they're good golfers, but
You got a little bit of tree cover too. Unless they line drive it under that tree, you're gonna hear it clip through some of them leaves, I think,
Wait,
before.
so I can hear it just in time to.
Yeah, you'll hear it to turn around and then maybe catch it in the face.
Can you imagine? What was that?
If you hear that way, you should turn your head the other way so you can catch it to the back of the head.
Oh yeah, I want it in the back of the head. That'll be good too. Double tap to the cerebellum from a golf ball.
You gotta just in one fluid motion, just like get the brim of the hat over the face and then turn. And
I think I'm just gonna
or throw the fingers over the face. Sacrifice a finger before a nose or an eye, right?
Who was it? Eva Longoria that was like in the middle of the interview just caught that baseball. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't think it was real that he did that. I think it was CGI because
no, it's totally real time. What are you talking about? Everything on the internet is real.
I think it was. I know which one you're talking about because they're doing batting practice and the dude just rips a line drive.
He's talking to a reporter.
Yeah,
Eva
no way
Longoria's
that's real. There's no way he actually caught a rip like that. There's no way.
Everything on the internet's truth.
Yeah, Anthony believes it too.
If it's on TikTok, it's real. Ty, before the break, we teased that the All-Star game starting to be a much more clear picture on what these rosters are going to look like. We have been working diligently to get out to these players and to get them confirmed over the weeks. Baseball's been a steady flow. Softball took a little bit longer because obviously we had to make sure we had to cross our T's and dot our I's with the location and the time. Once we did that, then we started sending out the softball invites. But now we have a very clear picture of what the roster is going to look like. We announced all the softball confirmations that we had to this point last night. We're still announcing some baseball confirmations this morning, but we have a much clearer picture than we had maybe a couple of days ago what this roster is going to look like for the All-Star game.
And it's going to be in a really exciting cast of characters, I guess you would say, from the softball side of things. A lot of talent pitching, a lot of talent as far as hitting's concerned, and a lot of talent in the defensive department. So I'm excited to just take a look at all these ones. And these kids that we have getting drafted into this one, Anthony. I mean, we had a full list literally dropping yesterday. So if you haven't checked out our socials, there's literally name upon name upon name that is on our socials right now of the softball roster.
Let's go over it, and we have the softball list here. We DJ kind of announced this on the Power Hour yesterday, but I want to go over it and kind of see who we got for the All-Star game and who we have confirmed. You can find this all on our social media as well. For Austin Town, Fitch, Ayla Ray, Maddie Taylor. I mean, do you have to say anything more?
The two great pickups too for the Fitch side of things. You had your 3-hole hitter in Taylor, and you had a really good honorable mention in D1 and Ayla Ray batting near 600 or just over 600 at the top of the order. Two really quality hitters from the Fitch side of things.
Maddie Taylor, the power hitter for that lineup for sure. Ayla Ray, not a power hitter per se, but the get on base, whatever it takes in that leadoff spot.
Who knows? I mean, I've been seeing some clips of Ayla in summer and in travel balls. She's starting to drive them out of the park too. So maybe a power stroke coming as well. And I mean, you talk about these hitters that she already has a great swing and she's already able to barrel it up. Just add a little bit more power to that. You're able to barrel it up. It's going to start going further.
She did talk about the home run that she hit over Sydney Watts in practice.
she had to throw that knot out, right? Too. It was inside the park to be fair too, but she's still
got to mash it. She got it to the wall.
Absolutely.
We'll go down the line from Beaver Local. We have Olivia Keller, who we've had on the show before. Great character person, great pitcher for that Beaver Local team. Led a very young Beaver Local team in the circle, and a lot of their wins came because of her.
Yeah, absolutely. And Olivia Keller was one that, I mean, another one of those interviews, like you said, you could find on YSN Live's YouTube page. And we've also said, I said it yesterday too, if you would have just hit the notification bell and subscribed to our YouTube page, you would have already known about that interview. But a lot of our all-stars too, we've been able to graciously do interviews with over the course of the season too, just when they were with their high school season. So if you kind of want to meet these all-stars, you can meet a generous amount of them. But yeah, another great one too, Beaver Local representative too, that you could catch on Sunday.
If you didn't get to see it on your YouTube, that's your own fault. You didn't hit the notifications bell. Now you have to go dig.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, if you subscribe to our channel, you could just go search on our channel too, and it'll be that easy.
I know. Subscribe, hit that notification.
I was just looking too. Do you know right now we have more videos than we do subscribers, and that's something that I feel like needs to change. We're putting out more content than there are people subscribing to us, and I know there's more people watching than there are subscribing too. So if you are unsubscribed, you got to make sure you're subscribed right now too. We need to get that subscriber count higher than the video number and content we're putting out.
Come on, we know how strong YSN Nation is. Come on, people, get on that YouTube and subscribe. Hit that notification.
You mentioned the percentages too of people watching to the people subscribed. There's a lot of unsubscribed people watching out there.
We can see the analytics every time we post a video. We can see how much what percentage of people that watched are subscribed, and it's not high. It's not high time.
No doubt.
I'm gonna call out Kevin out there. Kevin, subscribe.
Get out there.
We'll go down the line. This is an alphabetical order based on what team they're representing. Maddie Weimer, catcher from Boardman. She'll be the Spartans representative, and you sophomore catcher, but she did a wonderful job this year stepping into that role. Last year, her freshman season, kind of split the catching duty with Morgan Cherney, who was a senior for that Boardman team. This year, it was her job. It was her role to take over that catcher's position. And she got to, not just call Maddie Lester the senior, but Tori Strines, the freshman phenom that came out of that nowhere in that program. So Maddie Weimer, a really good defensive catcher, but also third on the team in batting average. So she can hit pretty well too.
Yeah, and we have another player I believe we've had a chance to talk with on Running Point as well. So another great player from that Boardman Spartans community. And we've talked a lot of Spartan softball representatives this season too. And she was definitely one of them. Highlight interviews that you should definitely check out all of the Spartan interviews if you haven't already on the YouTube page. But yeah, Maddie Weimer, really, really great teammate, great competitor too, and a ceiling that's as high as the sky right now. And she might even bust through that one as well, because she's looking really good in some tough competition in that AAC.
I think this All-Star game will be kind of, not just her, but a lot of players on this list. Their time to kind of put their name on the stamp of their area, because everyone's going to be here watching. So people that don't know who Maddie Weimer is, they're going to know real quick when they come to see this All-Star game.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the thing. We shout their names out, but a lot of these kids too, we saw it in the basketball games, get to make their names known to a lot of people that may have not seen them prior to. So it's exciting getting a lot of the area's best under one venue.
Here's another one that's going to be under the radar for people that might be casual fans, but couple no-hitters this year to her credit. Miranda Nicholson from Brookfield. She'll be the Warriors representative.
We talked about that, and one of those came in the tournament as well. So you talk about just shutting lineups down, and Brookfield looked really good all the way up until challenging Matthews, I believe.
Matthews again.
So this is a great team, and another great arm that's going to be featured in this one. I'm excited to see how she competes too against the competition that's going to be opposite of her on this All-Star game.
We'll go down the list for Canfield's representative, Melena Toth. No introductions necessary. She's been lighting the world on fire since her freshman year. Now she's a sophomore. shut down a lot of really good lineups, especially in the district tournament, getting a district championship by not just shutting down Poland, but also shutting down Aurora. A very good lineup from Aurora, and she got them a district championship. Canfield, very good team.
Sophomore as well, and young representative, but a very talented one, and she can do work in that circle as well against some really good lineups. And she was a key part in Canfield's run this season. She's going to be a key part of Canfield's success going forward. We're excited to have her be a representative of the Cards in this All-Star game.
We go from an underclassman in Canfield to a senior. Bayan Jadala has confirmed her availability for the All-Star game. She'll be on the roster as well. And this is a first baseman that can just match for Canfield.
Absolutely, and that's another one we've had the chance to talk to on Running Point. And Bayan's interview was really fun too. And I think we could have talked to Bayan forever too. Great personality, and that's another one too. Where just if you watch that, she's one of those that she lightens the mood a lot of times too. But at times where she needs to be competitive, she can turn it on. She's a great team leader, and she's one that you want to look to follow.
Looking forward to have Bayan on part of the Summer Classic on Sunday at 7:00. Move down to Cardinal Mooney. Elena Scavina, Elena Francis, they're pitchers, they're catchers. They can swap places. Probably going to have some fun with that. Probably going to have them both pitch and catch in this game.
And that'll be fun if they're on the same team or if they're on opposing teams as well. So we'll have to see how that works out. But I'm definitely excited to see this one because we have a couple Cardinal Mooney representatives, and they've been really good this season as well. And these two are the reason behind a lot of Cardinal Mooney's success this year.
By the way, they can also mash the ball and hit tanks. I think Elena Scavina has my vote as the hardest hit ball I've ever seen at Field of Dreams. I don't know if you've been to S1 for Field of Dreams.
No, I personally haven't, but
there's a shed in center field. I don't think it's their restrooms. I think it's just but there's a shed in center field. She hit it off the roof of the shed. So, I mean, it was a monster tank. I think it was last year against Mineral Ridge. But Elena Scavina and Elena Francis, both really good athletes. They both play all the other sports, volleyball, basketball, and now softball. But I think softball's where they shine the most.
Yeah, and I mean they shine in all three sports, and these are names we're accustomed to as well throughout the sports season. So we would be hard pressed to say we weren't expecting to see them show up for Cardinal Mooney's representative side.
All right, now it's time to shout out the champion representatives. Maddie Jones, we had a chance to talk with her earlier this season, and then a senior from Champion. Then we go to a freshman from Champion for their catcher, Addie Warzala, who is a legitimate D1 caliber catcher. She's plays for a premier travel team, traveling around the country, kind of like Cindy Watts, except catching instead of pitching. And she's gonna kind of put her talents on full display.
Having that kind of catcher too behind the plate as a freshman is huge because she's going to take care of the pitching staff, and she's going to elevate that the pitching staff over there for Champion for years to come. And when I say staff with Champion for a softball room, that's usually because that's what it is. They usually operate more than one arm in a season. So she's the type of girl too that can handle more than one arm and handle a pitching staff, and a talent that we're definitely going to be excited to see what she can do behind the plate and how much better she can get in the next 3 years.
Here's someone that we've talked to, not just for softball, but for track, Julia Rapp, going to be representing Columbiana among the team leaders in batting average, RBI, but also state representative for a track star as well.
Yeah, and we've had a chance to talk with Julia Rapp as well, and like you said, and we've talked to a great number of these all-stars prior to this actual all-star game. That, like we said, you could probably meet a good number of them prior to if you wanted to, and she's another name added to it. And Columbiana, obviously well coached. They have a good baseball, good softball program. They know how to swing the sticks down there, and she's no doubt no different.
Yeah, so Julia Rapp will be there at the All-Star game on Sunday at YSU. We move down to Crestview. Carson Moore, Caden Sutton, another catcher-pitcher duo, sister duo as well. Caden Sutton, Carson Moore, their second straight appearance in the All-Star game from Crestview.
And they're not going to be separated as they go into the next level either. And we got to have that story as well, talking to both of them during the season. And that's a great story. That sister combo that's going to keep on going strong into the next level. We're going to see it on full display one more time, donning the Rebels gear.
And they'll go on to play college in Florida for Ave Maria, and they were a package duo. They both told us that when they were getting recruited, they said, if you're not going to bring my sister along, I'm not coming. So they were a package deal. when you had to recruit them.
Yeah, and you could tell why because of just how close those two are. I'm excited to see how they tear it up in the next level, but I'm also very excited to see them, like I said, don the Crestview colors one more time.
Gia Pristelli from East Palestine, their only senior on the team, she'll be representing the Bulldogs in the All-Star game on Sunday. Someone that DJ has had a chance to meet and definitely cover a lot. And I had a chance to see her a couple of times over her career as well.
She's going to be carrying that EP flag and riding it strong into the All-Star game, as she is the like you said, the lone senior representative of East Palestine, but a great representative for the Bulldogs in this one.
So in the basketball All-Star game from Garfield, their representative was Sarah Seaman. Well, we got her twin sister, Sydney Seaman, to be in the softball All-Star game. Softball is where Sydney shines the most, and she'll be lighting up the world and YSU softball complex for sure in the Garfield gear on Sunday, as she is the G-Men's representative.
Yep, as we're excited to see Lady G-Men get out there too. This is the first time we're going to see them represented in a softball All-Star game.
From Gerard, Emily Rosales, one of the best pitchers in the NEH statistically. She was in the All-Star game last year, hit a home run, and pitched really well. So she's going to try to make her impact again in this year's All-Star game.
Pitcher that can rake. We've seen a few of them, and that's going to be the case again for Gerard's representative. We'll see if she can go back-to-back and back-to-back years at the All-Star game for YSN.
We move down to Howland's representatives, and it is Brooke Tater, a freshman pitcher that is you got a chance to see her. I got a chance to see her. What more can you say about Brooke Tater? A very young, talented player that we're happy to feature on the All-Star game.
Talk about a pitcher that can rake. Brooke Tater can mash the ball. Home runs for days, and that's talent that's going to be hosted in the Howland community for years to come. And I'm excited to see Brooke Tater at full display one more time this season. I got to see her a couple of times this year, obviously, and she can really swing the bat. She can really mash the ball. So I'm expecting some really good swings out of her in this one.
Mashed potatoes is her specialty. She mashes hard. Maddie Hufford from Howland will also be joining us as part of the All-Star game, both freshmen for the Tigers.
I believe we've had Maddie Hufford on as well, if I'm not mistaken. So we have had a Howland representative on as well. We've gotten a chance to talk with another one of the All-Stars, and Maddie Hufford, a great personality for the Howland community. A lot of young talent that's being hosted there.
Maddie's one of those girls that can play in the outfield. She does a really good job in the outfield, but also can put on that catcher's gear and catch pretty well. So if there's an opportunity for one of these teams, maybe their catcher is coming off of, a couple innings caught in their travel tournament that they're coming from, and they don't want to catch more innings, Maddie Heffer is going to be one of those girls that can put on the catcher's gear and take some innings for her team.
Yeah, and we could pull out all the stops for an All-Star game, so we're expecting anybody and everybody to do a little bit of everything.
From Hubbard, we'll have our YSN Pitcher of the Year, Haley Croyle. Pleasant surprise because, obviously, unfortunately, she got hurt towards the end of the regular season. We were coming into this All-Star game thinking that she wouldn't be able to play, but she has informed us that she is cleared. She's going to be playing on her travel team this week. So she will be ready to play and ready to go on our All-Star game on Sunday. Our YSN Pitcher of the Year will be in attendance for Hubbard.
How special is this, too, for her to get all the way back and be able to don the Hubbard gear one more time and to be able to go out on her terms and not go out by the way that she did with the injury and have the season end the way it did. And obviously you can't take that back, but you could still go out there, don that Hubbard gear, and go out strong on top too, while wearing the Eagles gear proudly.
That's going to be one of the best storylines of this All-Star game. Like Haley Croyle's return to the Hubbard gear. Obviously she couldn't be with them for that district championship game or the district semifinal, whatever they lost in the districts. Couldn't be with them, couldn't help them out. Now, obviously, like you said, you can't take that back, but you can have a chance to represent your school one more time on your terms and go out and play on a field with All-Stars with your teammate. And she's going to have a teammate there. Jillian Reeser from Hubbard will also be at this All-Star game, and she's a great position player for the Eagles.
Double dipping into the Hubbard community, and we're excited to have a couple representatives from the Eagles there. But yeah, some big stories from Hubbard too, and we're excited to have both of them represented Sunday.
So we move down to Jackson Milton. Chelsea Williams, who led the team in home runs as well, a great shortstop, what an athlete. I mean, we see her in basketball, we see her in softball, we see her in volleyball. I mean, a fantastic athlete, Chelsea Williams, and she'll be kind of, I think, first time being in an all-star game for YSN. Actually, it's a long time coming.
I can't remember. I know we've done post games. Did we talk with Chelsea Williams? I thought we talked with Chelsea. I couldn't remember.
Softball season.
Yeah, if it was Chelsea or Kylie that we talked to. I know I talked to both of them post games, but yeah, Chelsea Williams, another one we got to talk to, and she's a great personality for that Jacksonville community. Obviously, one of the seniors there, going to be missed going into this season, but exciting that she gets to wear the Jacksonville colors one more time. We saw her coach Mariah Ciccolelli getting so hyped on socials about it too. So obviously, exciting times in Jacksonville community to see Chelsea Williams don the colors and take some swings one more time for them.
Not done in Jackson Milton. We have one more representative as well. Their pitcher in the circle, McKaylee Thornhill, who they call Mac Daddy.
And I believe another one that we've had a chance to talk to this season. So we've talked to both Jackson Milton representatives and just great personalities from both of them. And McKaylee Thornhill, if I'm not mistaken, too, is she's pitcher correct. She's one of those girls like a pitch, does a great job in the circle from the times that I've seen her. And she came up with some really big games close in the season and even during the tournament as well.
She was kind of put in the same position that Tori Strines was put in Boardman, where she came into the season not expecting to have to carry all the weight of the pitching in the circle, but all of a sudden injuries kind of side railed that whole discussion. Riley Headley couldn't pitch for him, and then McKaylee Thornhill had to come up and step up for the Blue Jays. She definitely did, got them all the way to the district championship before losing to McDonald district semifinals. Excuse me.
And you got to figure that experience is going to be pay dividends going forward for her as well. And I mean, the season she was able to put together, stepping into that role, she stepped into it in a big way under an all-star nod.
We have Grace Barnhart from LeBray, and I know LeBray had a tough season record-wise, but she was one of the shining stars of that LeBray team. And hard to get out. You ask any of those MVAC pitchers, one of the toughest outs in the league, and she's going to be representing LeBray in this All-Star game.
That's the biggest thing about this All-Star game is that it represents everybody too. And like we said, we give everyone a chance to be represented in this one because we want to represent those all-stars to where maybe if the team didn't have a good season, but we also know team success. We've talked about this. We just had a discussion this week about it. Team success isn't always reflecting on personal success in this sport too. And you can still be successful personally, per se, in the sport and what you're doing, you're contributing, you're filling your role. But you can't always control what the team's doing, but we love to give nods to our all-stars too that still had very nice seasons this year.
We go down to Louisville. Sammy Kelly going to be a representative, volleyball, basketball, and now softball. She's one of those very versatile athletes that we've seen a lot. We've had a chance to talk with her, I think, in one of the seasons. I don't remember which one it was. We've had her on the show, and it's another great opportunity to highlight maybe under the radar kid.
Yeah, and I mean, Sammy Kelly was a huge leading factor too, especially in that basketball run that Louisville had. A nice basketball run they had. Big win too in the tournament for the softball side of things. And Sammy Kelly's going to be a big name that we expect to be featured in Louisville stories for a couple years now.
One of the best hitters in the MVAC Scarlet tier from McDonald going to be joining us, Lucia Wofford. And I know a lot of people know her from basketball, but she can really hit a softball hard.
And she came up huge for McDonald this season, too. And especially in the second half of the season, McDonald caught a fire that they just couldn't be cooled down from. And they rode that all the way through the tournament, too.
Maddie Wylonen from Mineral Ridge makes her second appearance. She was in last year's All-Star game, did pretty well for the Rams. She'll be in this year's All-Star game as well, as she gets the nod from Ram Country.
Yeah, and I mean, you get to get back-to-back All-Star appearances. You're doing something right on the softball field. So getting Maddie Wylonen back for a second time, welcome back to the All-Star game.
First ever representative from Pennsylvania in an All-Star game for YSN, and it is Olivia Hare who gets the nod. A really good slapper tie. I've been having the chance to kind of do my research on her. A really good slapper, plays for Ohio Outlaws, comes from PA to play for now Ohio Outlaws team, which, if you know travel softball, a great organization that has a lot of really talented teams, really good coaches in their organization. And she is maybe one of the best slappers on YSN's family of networks.
She could be a great slapper too, but she needs to be a good planner as well, because she's planting the flag into this ground right now. She's breaking ground as the first PA player to be featured in an All-Star game for YSN. Yep, yeah, throw up the hawk, Mohawk, baby.
We'll venture down after Mohawk. We have representatives from Poland. We have 4 representatives from Poland: Katie McDonald, Abby Farber, Emily Denny, and Mary Brandt have all confirmed their availability to be in our All-Star game.
And I mean, you can't talk highly enough about all these girls. Obviously, I'll give you the floor to talk about them. But I mean, in my time seeing them, these are just great athletes, multiple sport athletes, a decent amount of them too. I think all of them, if I'm not mistaken, in at least 2 sports. So they were well featured in the polling community, and they're going to be well featured as well in this All-Star game.
I'll tell you, as the time went, it started off with 2 of them, and then okay, we need a third one, and then it was just too hard to not leave the 4th one on. I mean, it was just one of those. As the numbers started coming in, we realized that there were some teams that weren't going to have representatives because travel tournaments or vacations or whatever it may be in the summer. It was like, hey, we need some spots to fill. Let's go right back to that polling well. I mean, Katie McDonald, one of the best pitchers, not just in the NE8, but in the area, period. Can have a rise ball, but she can also tanks, hit straight up home runs. You've seen her power. We've seen her power. Then you have Abby Farber, who's a Division I athlete. It's hard to say, hey, you're going to play Division I college softball. You're not going to be in our All-Star game. That just doesn't make much sense. But then you have Mary Branch, who leads the team in home runs and RBI. It's like, how can you have those two on and not have your home run leader? And then, of course, Emily Denny, their leadoff hitter that sets the table for everybody. It was just one of those decisions. It was like, okay, let's do it. Let's run with it. And the numbers back up every decision that was made there. It wasn't favoritism. It wasn't like, hey, let's just have polling. Like the numbers back up them being on the All-Star game.
We have plenty of talent too that's sitting in the reserves that we could kind of call up to. And I mean, face facts, folks, when we come into the summer months, you're not, it's going to be rare. It's going to be, I'd even venture to say damn near impossible to get every single, I would say, I guess, best all-star available to, just because other teams get in the way, other vacations, other travel plans get in the way. So you take what you take, not, you don't want to say take what you can get, because we have so much talent, but you have so much talent to pick from as a pool that, I mean, hey, if one can't show up, you got like 6 others that have fantastic numbers, and okay, we'll just insert them. I mean, we got plenty of numbers too. So looking at these 4 polling girls too, the great team, great season, and like you said, Anthony, the numbers back up the All-Star nods.
The talent is so deep in this area, and to your point, like only one of our YSN postseason award winners is going to be at this All-Star game, but that's because all the other ones are in premier elite travel ball tournaments. I mean, you have Maddie Benson from Louisville, who won our hitter of the year. She's in Tennessee with the Ohio Hawks organization in a showcase event. Sydney Watts, of course, she'll be in Boulder, Colorado at the Colorado Sparkler, which is one of the biggest travel ball tournaments in the country. And then you have Kelly Zolik, who will be not in the All-Star game, but because she's playing travel ball at a very elite team. So you have all these postseason award winners won't be on our All-Star game, but not because we don't want them there. It's because they're so dang talented. They're off doing a lot better things than showing up at YSU.
Yeah, obviously we would love to have them there, but we're understanding too. Like we said, summer's the time to raise your stock, and that's exactly what they're trying to do, trying to get themselves set up for the best position to not only play this sport at the next level, but best position to set themselves up to get an education as well.
Riley Troy will be joining us from Salem. She was a really good pitcher for the Quakers, and they got close to that goal that they had of breaking the program record for most wins in a season. She was a big reason why.
Yeah, Salem had a fine season this year and a lot of great stories, especially their trips down to Tennessee. We got a chance to get a lot of those highlighted this year, and Riley Troy was a huge part of that Salem team. And I want to say, did we have Riley on? I don't. I thought we've had Riley on. Yeah, I thought we've had Riley on. We've had so many of these players on, but I thought we had Riley on too. So you could find another one of the All-Stars up on YouTube.
From South Range, we have Sam Suzanne, who was one of the 1-2 punches of pitchers in the circle, and we also have Maddie Data, who I think is the best slapper in the YSN network because she's so versatile. She's able to power slap if the situation calls for it. She can drag bunch, she can soft slap. Just really tough to get out. One of the best hitters in South Range's lineup as far as average goes. Really tough out. Maddie Data, and then Sam Suzanne. We saw her go toe to toe with the pitcher from Beaver, PA, who's going to Virginia Tech, whose name escapes me. It's did it kill me? But toe to toe. I mean, South Range lost that game, but both pitchers gave up 1 earned run.
And I mean, that's premier, and that's exactly what's going to be on full display, I should say, for South Range and the Raiders in this one. And you're going to want to make sure you're there Sunday to get to see them don the Raiders gear and be a participant in these All-Star games.
Hallie McCullough will be joining us from Springfield. We've had her on the show as well. Maddie Lesnack will also be a Tigers representative. So you have Hallie McCullough, who has pitched really well for the Tigers this year. Maddie Lesnack, who plays really good first base, but can also get in that circle and pitch pretty well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just Springfield representatives too that we're excited to have represented. And I mean, we also said about these teams, a lot of these girls multiple sport athletes, so we've gotten a chance to see these girls in other sports as well, and they were on the cusp too, or they have made all-star games in other sports as well, but we're going to get to see them on full display for softball.
Nicolina Pizzone got the nod for Struthers. We've had a chance to talk with her. We're going to talk with her brother eventually on the show pretty soon. Obviously, he was scheduled for today. He had to reschedule, but we're definitely going to get him on the show. But Nicolina Pizzone, one of not just a really good pitcher in the circle for the Struthers, but hit over 600 and was an all-state representative in Division II.
I'd venture to say maybe one of, if not the best hitters in the area too. You obviously we talked the batter of the year, Maddie Benson, and I mean well deserved and not absolutely credited to her, but Nicolina Pizzone, I'd venture to say, is top 3, top 5, right in that discussion as one of the best hitters in the YSN family. And if you haven't had a chance to see her yet, you want to make sure you get a chance to see her, because she's gonna be going down south to North Carolina, so you're not gonna be able to see her unless you are willing to drive a little bit of a trek to get her.
From United, we have Colby Burton, one of their senior leaders. She'll be joining the Eagles and representing the blue and gold in the YSN All-Star Game, and one of the best hitters in that lineup.
Yeah, and we're excited to have Colby Burton be a representative too. And like we said, Sunday's the place to be. It's YSU softball complex to be able to see all these.
She wasn't in the All-Star Game last year, but her sister Savannah was. So we have a Burton family connection.
And right into the next year, right on to the next one.
On to the next. We'll continue. Ursuline has 3 nominations for this game. They have Manny McClandrick, who was their all-star catcher, hit a home run in that regional final that they lost against Tuslaw. We have Alyssa Shealy, senior, really good hitter in the top of that lineup, one of the best leadoff hitters in the OYSN family. And then we have Mia Opalik, who was a part of that 1-2 punch for Ursuline in the circle. She'll be pitching in this All-Star game.
If I'm not mistaken, I think we've done 2 of those, right? Two interviews. I know you've done Shealy, and I want to say you did McClandrick as well.
We did Shealy and McClandrick.
Yeah, you've had a chance to talk with some of these Ursuline representatives this season as well, so you can get those interviews on our YouTube page as well. But I mean, this Ursuline team was so fun to watch, hitting wise, and then of course we know pitching wise they had a great 1-2 punch as well. Great solid team and great nods for all 3 of them on the Ursuline side of things.
Another player making her second appearance in All-Star Game. She was in here with us last year, Julia Toth from Warren JFK. We call her Juju. She'll be in the All-Star Game representing the Eagles.
Yeah, we're excited to have some Warren JFK love go out to this All-Star Game too, as we get to see Kennedy Catholic and Julia Toth represent them.
Another second straight All-Star Game from Waterloo. It's Mackenzie Kerr. She gets in and she had a great All-Star Game last year. So she'll be representing Waterloo in the All-Star Game this year for the second year in a row.
I'm excited to see her too on full display, as well as the Vikings looking to make an impact in the All-Star Game again.
Sydney Mercer will be West Branch's representative. I don't think there's anything we have to say more about that. A multiple sport athlete. She's going to Mount Union for volleyball, but plans to walk on for the softball team as well. And Mount Union, one of the best hitters in that West Branch lineup. Dangerous. She also plays on a pretty elite travel team with Thunder Elite ATNU. Talk about dedication. Her, Alyssa Shealy, are both going to be playing in Marion, Ohio, and they're going to make the trip from Marion after their tournament's done into Youngstown. That's 2.5 hours away.
And that, yeah, you talk about dedication, all to be featured too. Well, we're glad to have them too, and we're excited that they're going to be there on Sunday.
Last but not least, from Western Reserve, one of their best hitters, Kaylee Selly, will be joining us from the Blue Devils organization. That will do it for the ones that have confirmed. I want to remind people, if you're from a school and you did not hear your name called out, you still have a little bit of time to try to get us a representative. You reach out to us on social media. We want everybody represented. We have reached out to every team. Some teams we haven't heard back from. Some teams gave us a decline. But if you heard your name and you feel like there's someone that you want represented your school, still have a little bit of time to get to us and we'd love to get them confirmed. The draft is tonight around 8 o'clock. So if you have time, if you have someone that you want represented from your school on the softball side or the baseball side, you can go through our social media, see all the baseball announcements that we've already made. And the reason why we're going through softball right now is because we've been going through baseball for the last 2 weeks. I feel like we've already announced everybody on this show.
Yeah, we've been trying to keep up to date as they've happened for baseball.
So if you see anyone from the baseball side or the softball side that is not representing your school, and you have someone that you know needs to be on this team, make sure to reach out to us and give us a shout out. We want everyone represented. Obviously, it's hard in the summer, but everyone has been reached out to. We've been working so hard to make sure that we at least give every team in the YSN family a chance to be represented.
Yeah, we want to give you guys that opportunity too. So if you want to, you still have a little bit of time to take advantage of it. So hop on it. Make sure you reach out to us, and we'll get that all adjusted for you.
We are going to take a break on Running Point, our second break of the day. When we come back, we'll get ready for Anthony Miller from Astro Falcons 18U Class B Baseball. He'll be joining us at 1:15 after this break on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Every customer has a story and Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
We are Kent State in the Valley. Start and finish one of more than 25 bachelor's or associate degree programs, or start one of Kent State's 280 majors. With low tuition, public, and plenty of scholarship opportunities, we will help you maximize your education and minimize student debt. Enjoy the benefits of a smaller campus with all the opportunities of a large university. Save money, stay close to home. Apply today by visiting kent.edu/Trumbull.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience, WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit WRSwealth.com. Good luck, athletes!
Quality, customer service, and integrity.
Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell. As you can tell, we are not in the studio. We are not in the confines of our own home. We are at the beautiful Mill Creek Golf Course on the 16th green of the South Course here at Mill Creek. And Ty, before we get to Anthony Miller real quick, actually he's popping in right now, so we'll do that after his interview. I was going to say let's get an update on the scoreboard, but we'll give the golfers a little bit more time to get the to get that up, and then we'll bring on Anthony Miller right now. Anthony Miller from Astro Falcons, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Yeah, can you hear him? I can't hear Anthony.
Can you not hear me?
We can't hear you right now. Right, we're gonna try to fix it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't hear the commercials either, could we? You think that's on our end?
That might be on our end.
Yeah. We're gonna try to fix it as we are you able to hear us?
Yes. I'm able to hear you.
Right, we're gonna take a break and try to fix this on YSN's Running Point.
It's a new year at Acura of Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi with huge savings on over 350 fully inspected vehicles. We have cars, trucks, SUVs, minivans, and work vehicles. We don't have it, our team will find it. We aim for 100% credit approval with payments as low as $99 per month. And as always, we'll pay top dollar for your trade. For a great vehicle and a great experience, come see why everyone is stopping by at Acura of Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting, where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education, and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
You know, being able to have success on the football field and the basketball court and just every aspect of, my sports career is now documented. One of the greatest things about high school sports is to be able to talk about it for the rest of your life and to look back on the days with my buddies whenever we had some battles, whether it was with, our rival or just another game. And I could go back and look at it and, not only myself, but my family members, my teammates, and it's something that will last a lifetime. My name is Parker Sherry, and my sports network is your sports network.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
We hear you too.
Right,
we
cool.
are golden. We got this fixed.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anthony, let's talk about this phenomenal season this 18U Astro team is having. You guys are on some kind of tear. What is it like for you confidence-wise as an athlete playing with so much other great talent that's represented not only in the Ohio but in the Pennsylvania area?
Yeah, it just makes it more relaxing, especially with Astros, it makes it more relaxing. You have all great players surrounded by you, so you don't always have to try to be the hero. If you're having a bad game or something, someone's gonna pick you up. It could be anyone 1 through 10.
Also, just talking about that, do you think that raises your level of play as well, being around so many guys that are batting in the upwards of 500s in a season and are tearing it up in their own respective rights?
I missed you there.
Did you hear that last one, Anthony?
I didn't hear the last one. I heard the first one.
Sorry. I was saying too, talking about that season too, does that raise your level of play playing with so many all-star caliber players that are hitting 400 or 500 in their own seasons as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does. You try to you try to match them. It's like you're on the same team, but everyone's very competitive. Just some grinders on that team, just competitive people. I mean, no pressure. You're good too. You're surrounded by good players. Everyone knows you're capable of doing well, but at the same time, you do want to be competitive and compete with the guys around you. And there's nothing better than doing that with the Astros.
And we know the Astro Falcons have a history of being very, very good and very winning organization.
Yes.
What's it like for you to kind of put on that jersey and know that you're representing the history of the Astro Falcons and they have selected you to be on that team?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a privilege to be able to play for them. It's truly, an honor. It's very cool. It's, the coaches are great. The people are great there. I love my teammates. I just love everything about the Astros. Just surrounded by great people, great players. So it means a lot. It's very cool to be able to, play for the Astros, especially at scene. So it's awesome.
Does your mentality have to change as a player, being on the team that everybody wants to beat and you're kind of getting everybody's best shot because they're gunning to beat you night to night?
Yeah. Yeah. So you have that target on your back a little bit when you're the best team or whatever and have the best record or whatever. So, you got to step it up a little bit. The target's on your back. You just want to go out there and compete, have fun and just try to win some ball games. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Also looking at this too, and just your entire baseball career, I wanna know, in your career and in all the games that you've played, what's some of the biggest, most clutch hits that you've had, the loudest that you've made a crowd, I guess you'd say?
That's a tough one. We played in the Whitfield Championship, which is like the district championship in Pennsylvania for us. And we were facing a kid that had no hit us earlier in the year. In the first inning, I had an RBI single and put us on the board. That was a pretty big hit. And then I remember when we were 12 with this one really, I always remember this one. We faced the kid who's now one of the top lefties in the country. And, everyone was just he threw 80 when we were 12, which is unheard of from the left side. And I just went up there and just hit a home run my first pitch. And everyone there was going crazy because, it was the Elite Eight. So everyone was watching. It was pretty cool. That's probably the two biggest hits in my career.
How much confidence does that give little 12-year-old Anthony Miller when, this guy's throwing gas at 12 years old? He's and you come up and hit a check on him.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You just heard everyone talking about this kid around the tournament, throughout the week, and for just going up there, it's just I'm really up here too now. So just boosting my confidence a whole lot, especially as a young 12-year-old. It's pretty cool to hit a home run at Cooperstown, especially of something like that in the big game. It was very cool. Big confidence booster.
I would be hard pressed to say that not just about every player that we talk to says that this is a sport of failure. So in saying that, what's a low point or a point where maybe you were struggling in your career? How did you bounce back from it and start finding success again?
Yeah, so I mean, baseball's obviously a game of high lows. So the way I always looked at it was, if I go 0 for 4, this isn't going to be the last time you go 0 for 4. You just got to have your head up, your chest out. It'll eat you up if you let it. So I remember it was actually this year with the Astros. There was a 4 or 5 game stretch where I was just striking out a lot. I was 0 for 12 or something with at least 8 strikeouts, maybe 7. And that's what all my strikeouts happened. I just, I was pulling out. I was trying to do too much, trying to just be the hero. So I just shortened up, simplified, and tried to hit the ball the other way. And when I started had 8 or 9 strikeouts out of 12 at bats, just not seeing the ball at all. So I just tried to work the other way and think out of it and simplify everything.
What I want to know is, in the sport of baseball, we know, like Ty said, it's a sport of failure, but you've gone through a lot in life as well. What's the biggest form of adversity you've had to face in your life, and how did you get by it?
I missed that last question.
Sorry. I think we're having some connection issues, but I'll ask it. What's the biggest form of adversity you've had to face in your life, and how did you kind of get past it?
Probably this past October, I found out that I had a slap tear in my labrum, and if you're a baseball player, you hear about labrum tears. It's the last surgery you'd like to have as a baseball player, and I had to get cut open. I had to get labrum surgery, which is what I was that was the last when my shoulder started to bother me. That was the last thing I wanted. And the way I was just surrounded by like my friends and my parents and family, and they were very supportive. And I just remember I had to drive to Pittsburgh, which is an hour from me, every 2 days for therapy, and just grinding and thinking about the ultimate goal I have, which is to play at the next level, and then from there, and just put my head down and grind, and being surrounded by the right people, and that it really helped me get through the whole recovery process. And I'm 100% now, so I feel really good.
What is some of the best advice you've received in your career, and would it be the same as the advice you would give to someone who wants to be just like Anthony Miller, a younger player that wants to be just like Anthony Miller now?
So the best advice I've ever personally received is to control the controllables with baseball, and I would 100% give that to a younger kid. The umpire makes a bad call and rings you up. Like, you can't get mad. You can't control the umpire's decision. You can only control how you react to it, and just controlling what you're able to control and able to.
I have one more question for the baseball field, then we'll try to get to know you a little bit off the field. But what I want to know, before this summer, what are some personal goals that you want to reach for yourself before the summer's over in Class B baseball? All right. One more baseball question, and then we'll try to get to know you a little bit off the field.
Okay.
What I want to know is, what are some personal goals that you have for yourself that you want to reach before the end of this Class B season?
Yeah, so I definitely want to at least get one out of the park, at least one home run. I want to win the Class B championship. That would be awesome. I want to cut down the air shortstop a little bit. I think I have like 3 or 4 this year. I don't want to make another one the rest of the year. So definitely those 3 things. Just winning the championship would be my first priority, and then hitting at least getting a hold of one, putting one out, because I've been coming close lately. It's been driving me nuts. And then the last one, which would be to cut down the errors, no more errors the rest of the year. Shortstop.
You obviously can cook them up offensively. Let's talk about your cooking skills too in the kitchen. Are you much of a cook, and if so, what's the best that Anthony Miller can prepare?
I can cook a little bit, nothing too crazy, just the basics. But the best thing I can prepare is a bacon, egg, and cheese like sandwich or bagel. Depends on if I want toast or a bagel, but that's probably the best thing I can cook on a day-to-day basis. I think I do it basically every day. So
to stay on that track, who is the best cook in your family, and the best at cooking it?
My mom. She just learned from my grandma and my great grandmother, and they were great cooks. So it's kind of just in her blood. She's a very good cook. I mean, everything she makes is very good. And I just, like, my friends come over and stuff, they're always like, "Hey, is your mom cooking tonight?" Like, they're ready for it. So
she's that mom. She's the cooking mom in the friend group.
Yeah.
What's her best dish?
My personal favorite, she makes these things called she's Lebanese, so like you get the grape leaves, like those are outstanding. But my personal favorite would be she makes these like chicken puffs with like dough and shredded chicken and cheese. I don't know what it is about them, but anytime she makes it, I'm eating at least half the tray, and she knows that. So
I'm curious because you say she's Lebanese, so I'm wondering, are there any like obscure Lebanese desserts that maybe people don't know about that are really good out there?
Me personally, I don't like Lebanese. I don't eat Lebanese dessert. I never even tried it, so I have no idea. But I'm sure if she was here, she could name you a lot of them. But I don't eat Lebanese dessert. I never even had it. So I'm sure she's made it before.
What are the desserts that tickle your fancy that have that sweet tooth going?
Probably like a molten lava cake with or just a chocolate cake, either or with a slice or a scoop of vanilla ice cream. That I gotta be. That's like my go-to.
Big chocolate guy for sure.
Yeah.
And talking about that, when you're not eating at home, what's kind of the go-to hangout spot for I guess either fast food or even for a sit down
Yeah.
joint for you and the baseball game, or for you personally?
Mine would probably be Chipotle or Hotheads. We have a Hotheads here in Newcastle, but I always drive to Boardman for Chipotle, so it just kind of depends on the day. How I'm feeling. If I want to make the drive, if I just want to get Hotheads, I like them both the same. I think they're both great. Probably just like a bowl from there with just chicken and rice. Just can never go wrong.
Chicken the goat meat at Chipotle in your opinion? Because we get a lot of people say Chipotle bowls.
Sometimes I'll do chicken, sometimes I'll do half chicken, half steak, but chicken's always in the bowl no matter what. So yeah, I'd have to say it's the goat meat.
Earlier, you brought up your childhood baseball memories, but what about some childhood fears that you had growing up? Some things that you were afraid of as a child?
This is actually funny. Spiders and snakes. So I cut grass like for work in the mornings. So yesterday I was cutting grass. I hit a hole and like 3 snakes came out, and I just ran. And I said I'm done cutting the rest of the day. I didn't cut the rest of the day. And then today I was weed whacking, and I had a nest, and spiders just went everywhere. And I dropped the weed whacker, so that I can't do this over here, and moved to a different spot. So those two, and they actually just. I mean, I was never really face to face with a snake in my life until yesterday, and I just realized how scared I truly am of them.
Nope.
You can't go around them.
Snakes are the devil. It's in the Bible.
Yeah. Yep.
To kind of stay, I guess, not on track, I guess, with the fears, but just stay on track with just the I guess high school experience and the younger experience.
Yeah.
What are some misconceptions about being a high schooler and going through the process of being an athlete in today's age that maybe some older generations and older people wouldn't know about?
Definitely like the getting recruited at a young age for me was a big one. Like people were like, this kid just committed. He's only in 10th grade. And that's too young. Like, you hear back in the day, like it was, you were a senior, you got the letter, like there was no phones or anything. So now it's just different that like, you're in 10th grade, you're getting an offer on a cell phone with your parents sitting there next to you, and you commit and you're 15, 16 years old. But that's just how it works now. Everything, social media is just, taking the recruiting part of the game to a next level. So everything's just, more dynamic, and it has changed now. So I think that would be the biggest misconception is, the recruiting late thing, and, doing it the traditional way is just done. It's just all over the phone and younger now, starting way earlier.
Staying back in the day, what was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon?
I'm missing whatever you're saying right now.
All right. No, I think we got it now. What was your favorite childhood Saturday morning cartoon? I'm gonna wait till this video pops back up. I don't think you can hear me when we're black.
Okay, I'm back. I can hear you.
All right. So I was gonna ask, what's your favorite Saturday morning cartoon as a kid?
SpongeBob. That would probably be cartoon, but I always watch Quick Pitch before school and stuff, and probably Saturday morning, just if my dad was always just watching the games and stuff, and he'd just have Quick Pitch on the TV. That's my thing. I remember watching was just MLB Network Quick Pitch.
With Heidi Watney, right?
Yes.
Back in the day. That's what I remember. If you were in SpongeBob, though, going back to the cartoons, which character would be your best friend?
Probably Patrick, just like SpongeBob. I just feel like you need that goofy friend, that dude that's always just gonna make you laugh. So that would probably be my go-to best friend, my guy.
All right, now I'm gonna go back to real best friends, and what I want to know is, because the baseball community is so big, who's your best friend that doesn't wear a jersey with you, so he's on another team?
So Dante Micheletti would probably. Dante's always been my best friend. He plays on Ballistic. He's me and him are basically best friends. So we're like 3 years old. So
is there a little more juice when you two square up?
Yeah, I flew out to my first at bat, and he was standing right under the ball. And then I went home with him after the game, and he said, I knew you were gonna hit the ball right there. I could just tell, he just knew it was gonna happen. I don't know. We played baseball together since we were like 6. We won a state championship together. It was really cool. So that'd probably be my best friend that's in a different uniform.
All right, Anthony, I don't want to keep you for too long, but I got one more for you. You talked about being in the SpongeBob world, but I want to kind of broaden that question and ask you if there was one world video game, movie, TV show
I
that
lost you again.
Oh, you hearing me?
Let's cut our losses, and as soon as he gets back, let's let him give a shout out to his support system in this.
I'm just getting back right now. So as soon as you started the question, I cut out.
So we'll give you a chance. We want to give you a chance to shout out your support system and the people that are always there for you before we let you go.
Okay, right now, shout them out real quick. All right. Definitely all my friends and family, my parents, my brothers, all my coaches and teammates. You know, those dudes keep me going every day. Those people, you know, push me to be the best version of myself every day. So family, friends, coaches, teammates, you know, love them all.
Anthony, thank you so much for joining us today and letting us get to know you a little bit on and off the field. We look forward to continuing our coverage of you all summer long in Class B baseball on YSN, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
All right, that was Anthony Miller of the Astro Falcons 18U team. High character kid, and that's one of the things about Astro Falcons. They get high talent, of course. They're always known for being the very competitive, very talented team, but they also get high character kids too.
No doubt, and that's the biggest key, right? You want a team full of guys that can not only hit the ball, but you want a team full of guys that can also know how to be a good teammate and cheer the next guy up too when they're not swinging and when they're not on the field.
How many premier teams kind of sacrifice character for talent when they want to win in the summer? You know, you can't, in my opinion, you can't do that. So Astro Falcons do a really good job of not sacrificing moral, or I shouldn't say morals, but not sacrificing the principle of high character people just for talent and putting winning teams on the baseball field. So they're blessed enough to get both. They have a high talent and high character people on their team. We'll switch over to your camera and look who you got next to you.
Yeah, no, I got the legend next to me too, as I believe we're going to take one of our final breaks here on Running Point. And when we get back, we're going to have our segment with this guy just to my left here.
"21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update. Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
But now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, Well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
It's a new year at Acura of Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi with huge savings on over 350 fully inspected vehicles. We have cars, trucks, SUVs, minivans, and work vehicles. If we don't have it, our team will find it. We aim for 100% credit approval with payments as low as $99 per month. And as always, we'll pay top dollar for your trade. For a great vehicle and a great experience, come see why everyone is stopping by at Acura Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting, where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education, and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
You know, being able to have success on the football field and the basketball court and just every aspect of, you know, my sports career is now documented. You know, one of the greatest things about high school sports is to be able to talk about it for the rest of your life and to look back on the days with my buddies whenever we had some battles, whether it was with, you know, our rival or just another game. And I could go back and look at it and, you know, not only myself, but my family members, my teammates, and it's something that will last a lifetime. My name is Parker Sherry, and my sports network is your sports network.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Welcome back to Running Point. We look a little different. We've changed our little camera views. We've gotten ourselves out. We're out of the sun, and we're feeling good. And we have Scotty and Ty both together. That's a really good lineup. Good job, Quinn.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if we could have a blooper reel on the behind the scenes right now, I think you would have just gotten about 2 minutes worth of tape and what happened during commercial break. But they got it set up too in a timely fashion. We moved a little bit in. You're out of the sun now, so you don't got to worry about getting toasted on the back of your neck.
You know, I have enough of a tan from coaching softball all weekend, so I don't need more of a tan. Scotty, how are we doing today?
Great. I mean, I know it's really hot, but it's still all taken, man. Yesterday being the first day of summer. Oh man, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful park.
It is beautiful. We are on the green of the 18th hole in the south course at Mill Creek Golf Course. We have the AJGA Mercy Health Foundation's AGGA preview tournament kicking off later this afternoon. We're wrapping up the All-Star tournament as well this morning. A busy day of golf. We looked at the leaderboard a little bit throughout the show. Scotty, you brought us on today, and you know, it's like every Wednesday. It's your trivia time, man. You got some questions for us?
Oh yeah, I got questions today. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about this, but Ty has a way of humbling you. So.
That's the truth. Scotty, you have, let's see, you have, I'll give you 13 minutes. 13 minutes to give as many trivia questions as you need. Ty, we're cutting you the time limit because we have a 13-minute window. So you do have a time limit. Scotty, your time begins now.
Okay, Ty. This one, you know, it was one I thought of this morning on the way here. I'd be surprised if you didn't get it, but I thought it was a fun one to ask anyway. I want to know from you, Ty, who is the only Major League Baseball player ever to hit 2 grand slams in the same inning? What team did he play for, and what year did he do it?
That's a good one, Scotty. I'm gonna have to think of this one for a
Because
second.
now we know for sure he's not cheating because
Yeah.
it's right in front of us.
8 RBIs too in the season.
Not that we
You've
question-
had me in the studio right in front of you
I
plenty
think,
of
I
times.
think you cheated on the bowling question. I'm calling BS.
Oh my God, he's calling BS on the bowling question.
He almost got the. That was the shuffleboard one when he almost got how many people were in the shuffleboard.
You gave me that one though because I got grace on that one.
Scotty,
2 grand
we'll
slams.
BS as he's trying to think because I know he thinks silently. I ruined a question for you yesterday in conversation. I had one, and me and Ty talked it over, and it was like, oh man, this could have been a trivia question. Ty didn't know it, and it was I screwed the pooch on you for that one.
Oh, what was the question?
Well, for some reason, the RCA came into my head, and I was like, "There's an RCA dome somewhere," and we had to think about who played in the RCA dome, and it ended up being Indianapolis back before it was Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, I thought it was. And when did they change over to Lucas Oil?
I want to say that probably happened because I think Lucas, it was RCA up until I want to say like 98. I think is what we.
Do you
said.
want to make that another trivia?
Yeah.
He seems pretty unsure.
I don't know the year. I guess
Yeah.
you could.
I can fact check it.
Yeah, we can make that another one.
No, I'm not entirely sure on that exact year, but I know that was the Indianapolis one. But for the home run question, I'm honestly, there's so many candidates, and this is such a tough question because it's only been done once, right, Scotty? This isn't something that's happened more than once.
One time in MLB history.
I'm just gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna be a popular name. Because that's the thing with baseball, it's fickle. So I feel like it's going to be someone that we wouldn't expect. I feel like it's going to be something that's happened earlier more recently because I would have known about it. I'm just going to go with the loaded answer and just say the Babe hit the 2 grand slams in the inning. But this is one I'm more or less conceding to you, Scotty.
I got you.
That's 2 points.
It is not the Babe. It is Fernando Tatis.
So it is more recently.
It's way more recently.
Did it in 1999 with the Cardinals.
Let me look up when it went from RCA to Lucas Oil Stadium.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good one too.
If we're giving points on that one, I get a point for saying that it was Indianapolis the other day then too, because that's part of the question. So then either way, so Scotty just gets a 1-1 tie out of this then because I got part of the question.
He got 2 points because he asked you for
you got those
who
two.
did it. Yeah, 2 points on the day.
But if
so on this one,
points for this, if I'm wrong on the year, it's 1-1 because I got the
that wasn't a trivia question.
This can't just be you can't just add trivia questions.
We sure can. The robot wants to be fair.
Do you want me to get to one that I thought of today before we get back to the Lucas Oil question? Well, okay, we'll stick with the Lucas Oil. Very interesting. Because I remember when the Colts played.
All right, so here's a kicker. I do have the year when the RCA Dome was no longer the home of the Indianapolis Colts. It was actually demolished, so it's not the same place. Lucas Oil Stadium is a whole new facility. So, Ty, I guess the question is, what year did the RCA Dome get demolished in Indianapolis?
I think it happened in the 90s, honestly. I said originally in conversation, I said 98. I don't know if it would be anything. It might be earlier, but I want to say it's in the 90s either way. I'll say 98.
Ty is wrong. The last game played I guess it closed in February of 2008. It was demolished in December of 2008.
Really, 2008 season. So I guess Peyton Manning did play about 10 years there then.
Yeah, I thought so because I remember in the 2000s, that place being relevant. So.
That's 3-1 Scotty. Scotty, I'm going to give you one more question because I do want to leave time to check in with the leaderboard one more time. We've checked in with it twice today, but I want to check with it one more time before we get out of here. So I'll give you one more question.
Okay, I want to know from you, Ty. This will be my last one for the day. It's I think you're really gonna have to rack your brain on this one, but I want to know what NFL and Major League Baseball superstars. One was a spokesman for Fruit Aftershave. The other one was a spokesperson for Aqua Velva Aftershave. So I want to know from you what stars and Hall of Famers were the spokesperson. There's one in the NFL, one in Major League Baseball. I guess I could give you a clue here.
No. No. You don't need to help Ty. While he's thinking, Scotty, who's your favorite? While we're at a golf course, I guess we'll get some golf questions to you. Who's your favorite golfer?
Like all time?
All time, man.
I mean, it's so like it might sound like a cop out, but it has to be Tiger. I mean, he's the
So, like, all that stuff didn't tarnish his fandom for you.
Like I'll be honest. I thought less of him as a human being, a little bit at first, but as far as on the golf course, like he was the first guy that said, "Okay, I'm gonna put golf on because I got to see what he's doing." No one before him, when I was a kid, was like that. And I remember when he first broke onto the scene, and he had such tremendous success. Like in '96, I was about 7 or 8 years old. So just nobody before him really got me interested in golf, and it just wasn't as riveting as it was before he came.
Ty, you got an answer?
This is another good question you got, Scotty, too.
Day,
Scotty's definitely gonna, I think, win the day because I gotta throw guesses out for this because honestly,
his keyboard's not in front of him.
Yeah, keyboard. You've literally had me in studio and across from you, and I've done the same thing. Yeah, if I'm gonna go with that, commercial wise, I'm just thinking of people that were in some commercials.
I forget what the sponsorship he was asking.
Yeah, I mean for aftershave commercials.
It was Fruit and Aqua Velva.
So I'm gonna go with. I don't know if this is even going to be recently, but no, it can't be that recent if they're Hall of Famers. So for the NFL one, let's go Barry Sanders. For the MLB one, let's go Mark McGwire to throw guesses out because it's better than nothing, right?
Good try, Ty, but you are wrong. Not as recent as those guys. The names are Joe Namath and Pete Rose.
Pete Rose for an aftershave commercial. Did Pete Rose ever have facial hair? Am I mistaken? Because I don't. Well, maybe it's because he used aftershave.
So Scotty wins the day. That's a 5-1 day for Scotty.
Big day. I think it's the biggest day for Scotty here.
I know. Ty, before we get, I know that. I don't know the total, but I know he was down by 6. So now he's only down by 2. When we get into the studio next week, we'll know the number total. But I know now he's only down by 2. You feeling a little bit nervous, Ty?
No, he's coming in with good questions too. We're just gonna have to get a little bit more obscure with the research, I guess.
Ty, before we get out of here, I do want to give you the chance to pull up that scoreboard again. I know we've looked at it a couple of times, but it's been a minute since we've gotten an update on the leaderboard. So let's get an update on the leaderboard currently in the AJGA. All-Star tournament that's here in Mill Creek.
Yeah, Alexa Aletta is leading things. She's -4 through 14 right now.
When we last checked in, she was -1, so she's having a great day.
Huge lead because Ann Sophie Borgalt is +3 and she's in second place through 15. So Alexa Owlette with a commanding lead right now on the boys' side of things. Right now, Braden Miller is -4 through 11 on that. And Shiv Parmar is +1 through 13. He's coming in at second, but Braden Miller still commanding lead in first on the boys' side.
So Miller and Allette both had really good days on the court, especially, Allette, the first time we checked in, she was even through. That was early. And then we checked in again, she was 1 under through 4. And now all of a sudden she's sitting there 4 under on the day. She's really having a good day on this course.
Yeah, and I mean it's a hot day as well, so battling the elements and still finding ways to have success too. And I mean this is a tough day to kind of battle through with the heat and the way the ball's traveling. You got to be able to read the course and doing a great job at it. Clearly,
Braden Miller doing the same thing, 4 under on the day, and he's running away with this leaderboard as well.
Yeah, and I mean you're assuming too. You're through 14. You're through 15 right now. They're commanding lead through a decent amount of the course already completed. They're off to a great start.
And we're going to give you a live look at the green. Once again, we are on the 18th green of the South course here at Mill Creek Golf Course, and we're going to point the camera towards the green. We have a couple of players finishing up the 18th green right now.
I want to hear you try your hand in announcing golf now,
I would
Anthony.
if I could see anything that was happening. You have to remember, I'm legally blind.
Thankfully, though, getting some cloud cover are these golfers right now getting a break from the sun that's been beating down nonstop since about the 10 o'clock hour. It seems like hot day in this one. I see the sprinklers going on some of these, trying to keep these courses wet, but they got to make sure these golfers need to make sure they're staying hydrated.
Scotty, you want to go
too.
run the sprinklers with me?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Power Rangers might not like that too much. So we checked in with the leaderboard again. We've done that a couple of times. It's a busy day of golf again. Once this All-Star tournament is done, they have the Mercy Health Foundation's AJGA preview tournament also this afternoon going on here at Mill Creek Golf Course. So a very busy day here at Mill Creek. We are glad to be a part of it on this episode of Running Point on Wednesday. Beautiful day. We were blessed with great weather. And we know Brian Tolnar is working hard. You can find his tip of the week on our YouTube page. Couldn't find a way to kind of put it up today with the remote show, but it is on our YouTube page. It'll be on our website as it always is. And you can make sure to go and see week 4 of Tolnar's takes on our YouTube page at ysnlive.com. And Ty, what should they do when they go to our YouTube?
I think you already prompted.
I know, but
this
it was the top of the show. So now to end it,
just subscribe and hit the notification bell too. We're gonna look forward to trying to get Brian Tolnar back on next Wednesday so we can get his takes and his view on this whole tournament and how it went.
And that'll do it for today's episode of Running Point. Of course, we are once again on the Southern course on the 18th hole. Thank you so much for tuning in. No Casual Sports podcast today, but we do have Power Hour that will also be live from Mill Creek Golf Course on at 3 to 4. And then you look at the games on tonight. We'll look at our games at a glance schedule. Once again, shout out to Quinn Pushkar, who puts together our schedule wonderfully. We have games on scene 1, 2, and 3 tonight. 2 on scene 1, 2 on scene 3, 1 on scene 2. The announcers on call tonight will be Noah Ricks on scene 1. Matt Mayer will be on scene 2. And Bob Zanny will be on scene 3. We also have the Mahoning Valley Scrappers as they look to salvage the series against the Trenton Thunder tonight at 7:05. Richie Giuliano will be on the call. 2 really close losses for the Scrappers in the last 2 days. So we'll see if we can salvage the series tonight. Richie Giuliano continues to call their homestand, and that's going to be what's on the network tonight. We're going to take a 22-hour break, Ty. We're going to be back tomorrow with more Class B baseball interviews from 12 to 2. Point brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin. I'll put you on camera one more time for the fans back home.